In the quiet suburbs of Chicago, John Wayne Gacy was known as a successful businessman, a devoted community leader, and even a beloved clown who entertained children at parties. But beneath this charming facade lurked one of America's most notorious serial killers. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy murdered at least 33 young men and boys, burying most of them beneath his home. How did a man so deeply embedded in his community evade suspicion for so long? This is the story of John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown, a man who lived a double life, hiding his monstrous crimes behind a mask of respectability. John Wayne Gacy was the epitome of the American dream. He built a successful construction business, owned a beautiful home, and was an active member of the local Democratic Party. He even dressed up as Pogo the Clown to entertain children at his community events. To his neighbors, Gacy was a model citizen, a man who gave back to his community and seemed to deeply care about those around him.
The clowning was relaxation for me. I enjoyed entertaining kids. Like some people are, they unwind in different ways, either by going out drinking or that. I could put on clown makeup and I was relaxed.
But this trust was a carefully constructed mask. Gacy used his public image to gain access to his victims, often hiring young men through his construction business. He would lure them to his home with promises of work or favors, only to assault or murder them. Behind closed doors, Gacy's life was a nightmare. In December 1978, the disappearance of a 15-year-old Robert Piest led police to Gacy's home. What they discovered was horrifying: the remains of 29 young men and boys buried in the crawlspace beneath his house. All of the bodies were covered in dirt and cement. Police claimed that the bodies that were deepest in the ground required a great amount of force to pull out. Some of the bodies were so severely damaged that they could not find the identities of the victims. 4 more victims were found in a nearby river, one of them being the body of Robert Piest. Gacy's confession shocked the community. He admitted to luring his victims with promises of work or money, then assaulting and killing them. His public persona as a respected businessman and community leader had allowed him to operate undetected for years.
Psychologists have long debated what drove Gacy to commit such heinous crimes. Some point to his troubled childhood, defined by an abusive father and feelings of inadequacy. Gacy's father was extremely critical of him and made him feel like he was useless and would never be good enough for him. Others believe his ability to compartmentalize his life allowed him to maintain his public image while committing such unspeakable acts in private. Gacy was a master manipulator. He knew how to charm people, how to make them trust him, and he used that trust to exploit his victims. He used his successful business and his position of power in local government to make his victims feel like he was a trustworthy person. Once he gained their trust, he would lure them to his car or his house, where he would normally trick them into constraining themselves and then inflicting damage onto them. Gacy was a sadist and found extreme pleasure in harming his victims. Even the men that Gacy would pay for sex acts and then let leave, he would inflict harm onto them. It was even worse for those who Gacy killed. He enjoyed strangling his victims and watching them choke as he committed sexual acts against them. This usually led to the unfortunate demise for most of his victims. Many believe that he found pleasure in what he did because he was in control and he was the one with all the power. Gacy was also an extreme narcissist and believed that he was superior to everyone around him. When Gacy had the urge to pleasure himself, he felt no remorse in finding a victim and killing them because to Gacy, they were useless lives and beneath him. To Gacy, the men he would pay for sex acts were nothing more than objects, and in Gacy's words, you decide you don't like it and want to break it, it's yours to break because you paid for it. Gacy's case raises important questions about how society perceives trust and respectability. How could someone so deeply involved in their community hide such dark secrets? In 1980, John Wayne Gacy was convicted of 33 murders and sentenced to death. He was executed by lethal injection on May 10, 1994, but his legacy of his crimes lives on, not only in the memories of his victims, but also in the lessons we can learn from his case. Gacy's story is a chilling reminder that evil can hide in plain sight. It challenges us to look beyond appearance and question the narratives we are told. As we reflect on this dark chapter in history, we honor the victims and strive to ensure that no one like John Wayne Gacy can ever evade justice again.